Are we going? Yes, we're going. Is this thing on? Did I kill Word? We're going to do our paper now, so we'll do Word. And as our brilliant students have pointed out, we can do File, New. And then we do APA Template. We did not have this when I was in school. You guys have it so easy.
I think it's a Microsoft thing. I don't know if OpenOffice has APA.
No, I would assume this is a Microsoft thing and that OpenOffice doesn't have it. So yay. Of course, this software is available on all the computers in the lab. So you can go there, and if you really want to use OpenOffice, just fire this off and then save it as something OpenOffice can read, and then you can do it in OpenOffice. That would be my suggestion. Okay, so this really makes this pretty straightforward. Title and author, we can go ahead. I don't know what our title is going to be yet. It's kind of up to you. You can go ahead and put your name on it. And then we can put Richland College. And then let's go ahead and save this. And let's go out to Blackboard and see how I want it. So that's under course information. So how does that crazy professor expect? Oh, it's not in this one, it's in the other one. I gotta fix that. I could have sworn it was in here, but I guess it's not. Okay, well here's what we're after. This will be the standard from now on, right? It is the... I'm trying to remember exactly what I put. Well, let's just do this. It'll be the semester in the class. So let's say, what is this, GAME 1343? Or IMED 1345, depending on which one you are. Either one is fine. And then the semester, so this is spring 2015. And then your name. And then the name of the assignment. So some way that I can look at this and tell exactly what it is. So in this case, it's going to be...
Penny experiment.
Sure, penny experiment sounds great. You don't have to put the extension, it's going to do that for you. And anything that it can put out, docx, doc, I don't care which one it is. I can read all those, so it's fine. Oh, I can see here it's docx, so we're good. Okay, so we'll go ahead and save that. And I'm just going to say okay. Okay, so change your title to something meaningful. So, and you can always change it, of course. So,
Catastrophic failure of PowerPoint.
yes. How Kentucky went down. Yeah, exactly.
Really simplified compared to the one that I got. Mine is for APA Style 6th edition,
Yeah.
and it's got a lot more stuff in it.
Well, thankfully, this isn't a hardcore research psychology class, or it probably would have all that in there. My objective is to get you exposed to the format, not to make you a master of it. So what is your question?
With the running heading, on the title page, do you actually use the term running head, colon, and then...
No,
head?
usually not.
For every sample one I've ever seen, it puts that in there, and I'm like...
Really?
Yeah.
Well, if it says to, then
Do it on the rest of the
yeah.
pages.
If it says to, it says to, but I've only ever seen it, you know, the actual running header. So this one is short enough to where we can just use the same thing. Now, if you want a longer title,
Now you're at Kentucky.
okay, so you can be long-winded with your title, and that's fine.
If you
But your running title should be short. Maybe. I really, honestly, I don't care.
Some papers, when you use colons,
Yeah, they put it down like that. But I don't think that's going to affect the viability of the paper, so it's I'm not scrutinizing that closely. Personally, I would just say, well, which looks good? That actually looks good. I like that. And then I would probably actually, since that looks good, I would probably add a couple of spaces there, and that's fine too.
So could the running title and the first 2-3 words of title be the same thing?
Sure. Now the first 2 or 3 words, I would probably put penny experiment up there. Okay, abstract, like I said, I always write that last. Actually, the APA source that I have says you don't have to put... Oh, yeah, you do put the title of the paper. You don't put... What is all this stuff? I think this is tutorial stuff. Oh, yeah, see, they didn't give you that much to work with. They just tell you you're supposed to use headings for each section. Okay. So it's not like it writes the whole paper for you. I was kind of hoping it would. So the title of your paper... I'm fine with copying it. I'm all about saving work time. Right, so now we need to look at some research. So let's go see what we can find real quick. So I'll switch over to scholar.google.com. So we'll punch in some of our keywords here. So Kanban, whip, delivery time. And maybe we can simplify it down to software because Kanban is everywhere, right? Okay, here's a case study, so that looks pretty good. And I'm always looking for the ones in this class that have a PDF over here that I can exploit. That's good. This one doesn't have one. Obviously, it's the whole book, so that's not desirable. You don't want to have to read the whole book. I pretty much expect that if you put it in there, then you read the whole thing. So that's not a good idea. You can obviously cite the source that we used for this class to actually cite, you know, what we were looking at before. So that Kanban in Action book, that's totally legal and expected for this assignment. Right. So the rest of this, you just need to find good ones. And here's a great one right here. Look, Kanban in software development, a systematic literature review. That's gold right there. All right. So we're definitely going to get that. So I'm going to right-click this, and I'm going to say Save Link As, and I'm going to put it somewhere where I can find it. I'll put it on my desktop. And there it is. But more importantly, I want the citation, right? So I'm kind of assuming when I'm doing my research, what I would usually do is I would go ahead and make my bibliography page, because there's not a lot of work to it if you do it this way. Find the site link down here at the bottom, click it, find the APA section, and copy it. Switch back over to your document. There's probably already a reference section at the bottom. That's the wrong one. Here it is, references. And we can take their stuff out. I'm assuming that's all of it. Okay, and we'll put our thing in, and we have to fix the hanging indent on it. And I think that's usually just right-click, hit paragraph, indentation, let's see, special, go to hanging, and that will probably do it, hopefully.
The preview down the bottom.
Yeah, it does. And we'll say OK, and there it is. Okay, so there's our first one, and that's the easiest way to do it, right? So that's going to do everything you need. It's going to have everything in the right format. So yay Google. And then let's say we want to use this first one too. No, that's too much there. Oh, here it is, the Lean Software Case Study. That might be a good one. So we'll grab that one real quick. I'll grab the citation again, the same way. Copy it. That was Middleton, so it goes after IMED. And I go ahead and just do it this way. I put them in alphabetical order right here because it's easy to do it now, rather than go back later and have to reorder everything. Again, I'll right-click, paragraph, change special to hanging, set it to a 1/2 inch, and there you go. And then in my case, this appendix page, I probably won't need it. I would probably be pretty comfortable taking that out, but if you wanted to leave it there, you can just insert a page break here and put it back down there where it goes by itself. Okay, and then we need the citation for the book that we're actually using. Let's see if Google Scholar has that one. So if I say Kanban in Action, which is the title of the book, there it is. I'm assuming that's it. So double check and make sure it's the right book. But that is the actually, I don't know that it is. Let's see who wrote it.
Looks like it.
Oh, yeah, okay. I was looking for Joaquim. I was like, one of them has a weird name, like, oh, there it is, Joaquim. So that's the right one.
Yeah.
Perfect. So grab the citation just like before. And I wasn't paying attention. Is it Sundon? Hamburg. So where does that go? That goes HIJKL right here in the middle. You can tell I have a 4-year-old at home, right? And since this one doesn't have the extra line on it, we don't need to do anything to the hanging indent because there's not enough there for a hanging indent. So we don't even have to change that one. So there we have 3 references. What are my requirements for this paper? Let's go see. I didn't put any, did I? Huzzah. So I'll just make the case right now that 3 is enough. Sound good? Because those look like they're really good. I mean, if you can find a lit review, then that's a great place to start because they're going to summarize everything that came before it. And here's a little trick: if you find yourself in a situation where you need a bigger bibliography, that's hard to say, a larger bibliography, find the literature review, take the bibliography from the literature review and cite articles out of that. That's a great trick. I just told you how to trick your professors in the future, right? That's okay. I guarantee you they do that too. So let's see. I put that article on my desktop. Let's go look at it real quick. Awesome. Okay, so this was our literature review. If we go to the bottom, oops, that was probably the wrong button. No, don't do that. Come on. Just open it. That's all I want. Oh no, this is bad. Now I'm sad. Yes, I want to quit. Just run Acrobat. Ugh.
Just hit. Can you hit sign later?
Wow.
You can do sign in later.
We have 32,767 days left on our trial. Perfect. I guess this isn't a widely used program. Okay. There we go. Okay, let's go to the bottom. Wow. There's something wrong here, isn't there? Where's their bibliography? Interesting. So this isn't even a published paper.
This draft not the final paper.
Yeah. But wait a minute. What did it say? It said in software engineering and advanced applications. So it was eventually published.
Yeah, it says it's published and you can find
Yeah.
it in another database.
Goofy, right? So really, if you were going to do my trick, you would have to go find that actual journal and pull the article from that journal. Unfortunately, we're not really equipped at Richland College to do this. You would have to go to either UTD or SMU would be the closest good libraries, and I guarantee you both of those colleges would probably have this article on hand. If not, then they would have it electronically via one of their subscriptions.
Have it electronically on subscription. You can go to the library.
They might, but I'll bet they don't. We don't have a very robust amount of funding for IEEE articles. But you might be able to find it. You would have to log in and actually search the collections. Actually, we can try that real quick. That's not a bad thing to try. Okay, so we'll go to Richland EDU, we'll click Library, and we'll click Databases. And now we'd have to figure out what database it's in. So this is where it gets hard. So help the best database for your topic. I have no idea where to go from here, to be honest with you. I don't know what database to look in. So frankly, if I were looking for this exact article, I would go over to the library and hand it to one of the librarians and have them find it for me. That's their whole job, is doing that. And that's why there is a degree in library science, right? And a whole job devoted to it. Because we have all these databases. They're going to know them inside out and backwards, and I'm not. So if I were doing this a lot, that's probably what I would do. So this is probably a good bet right here, is eJournal Finder. So if you want to give it a shot, you just click on which database you want to search in, and then you have to do your library account login. So to do this, all you do is you just type your actual name, and then your ID number. So it's no E, which is just your student ID with no E in front of it. Oh no. So what happens when you don't pay your library fines? 230. I just said my number on the recording. There we go. I just typed it wrong. Okay, so there's the journal finder. Let's see what journal we're looking for. We're looking for Software Engineering and Advanced Applications, or SEAA. We can certainly try that. And it didn't find anything. So I'm not horribly surprised at that. We could, of course, Google the journal. And get it that way, but again, I don't want you to have to pay for anything. So this is not a bad result. It just seems to be missing the final, the final submission details. So the reference section is not there, but I'm assuming everything else is up to date. I think this is the conference where that thing was presented. Not quite what we're looking for. But that's a brief overview of how you actually look for journals in our library system. And I've noticed that we don't have the best software engineering section because we don't really have an advanced degree offering, well, in anything, because we're a two-year college. But we don't have all these subscription in these advanced journals because we don't have anyone doing research here. And that's why I suggest you go over to UTD or SMU. Both of them have excellent engineering schools, very well endowed software chairs. And so those are good places to go. They'll either have the journals on hand or they'll have access to them. So if you needed to do some pretty hardcore research, you could. And both of those are easy driving distance, right? They're not very far away. And if you go there in person, those are both of those libraries are open to the public. You don't have electronic access to them unless you're a student there, but you can walk in off the street and they'll help you find whatever you need, just like our library will. Okay, but for my part, I don't expect you to do all that. I'm just saying you can if you wanted to. Really, all I need is the citations off of Google, and that's why I'm telling you should always try to find these articles that have the PDF available, and that's good enough for me. So there's a few here, and you can find them, however you need them. So that's the brief overview on how to write the paper. Let's go back and see if there's any more of this that we can fill in. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to read these 3 articles, and assuming they're great articles, this one having already been read, this one having already been read, you'll read these other 2 and kind of summarize some of the high points, and so that will be in your introduction. Hopefully you'll find examples of the penny game being played in other places. In fact, that might be another interesting search on Google Scholar. So what if we did Kanban penny game? So that looks good, but we can't get that one. Demonstration of push-pull assembly line, we could probably get that one, and that's probably the penny game, right? Not a lot of them. This one is probably no good. When you see a citation in front of it, usually it's not going to be that useful, just from personal experience. It's citing some other article that was talking about it. And you can see right here that it's not, it's nothing about the penny game. It's worth every penny of shop floor sweat, etc. So that's not a great one. Okay, back to our paper. Let's see. So that I'm kind of leaving all of that to you guys. So read that, summarize, and put all you've already got your citations done. So that's great. What headings are we going to need? So we're going to need several headings. So let's go ahead and put these in. And I'm just going to get rid of all of this. Actually, no, I won't. I'll change this. Okay, so after introduction, what was the next section? Let me go back and look. There we go. Introduction, then method. And the reason I'm doing it this way is because the formatting is already here. If I deleted all of this, then I would have to worry about that. So I'm just going to take some of this so that I can make the parts that I need. And I can see that's italicized, so I'll hit Control I to unitalicize it. And the next section was analysis. And the last section is discussion. Method, analysis, and discussion. Oh, and I didn't implicitly state that the introduction part goes here. So let me put a little bit of text in there, and I don't want that to be centered. So let's go uncenter it. Oh, it wasn't centered, it just looked like it. Okay, so usually you don't have introduction as the title here, or as the section header there. It's actually usually the name of the paper. Although I've actually seen it both ways. When I was in school, we did introduction. The current APA guideline says put the title there, so I'm putting the title there. Okay, so it's pretty much all laid out exactly as it needs to be. So I'm going to save it. And you can summarize your method. I'm not going to type all of this in because that would be tedious. This won't fly. You can't just type we did what was in. I just want you to basically summarize what we did. And then in your introduction you can say, here's what the Kanban people did in their book. But we could say something like, we attempted to do what was in, and that's not an inline citation, right? So we have to change this. But usually how I do this is I'll come in here and I'll take the parts out I don't need. So I don't need the comma. I leave the and signed there. I don't need that part. So there and there and there. And now we have a good citation. And that's exactly how I always do it. I always copy and paste it and then just take out the part I don't need. That way I know for a fact that it will match what's in my reference section. Okay, for your analysis section, I doubt we have time to cover everything that you need before 9:30 rolls around. So why don't we just punt this one, and we'll cover it later. So what did the guy say when in his, this is just a draft for the actual paper? That's okay. You can put this is just a draft in your analysis section. That's fine. And then, of course, you're on your own to write the discussion because you know what the outcome is. So we'll just assume, I know what that word means, but we'll assume that just by eyeballing our data right now that we don't have a significant difference, and then maybe next time we'll take a closer look at it and make sure that's the case. But from the standpoint of what you have to turn in for next week, I'm mostly interested in you turning in a good introduction, a good method section, and a good discussion. And if you can do that, I'll be totally happy.
As far as the data, is it just the chart that you had on the whiteboard?
Yes, but we wouldn't actually present that in the paper. You never actually present the raw data.
Oh, well.
Now it wouldn't be a bad idea to copy that down, and I'll put I took a picture of it last time we were here, and that's how I was able to draw it again, so I'll put that up so that we have it.
So we just do just drag and analysis?
I'm happy with that
Okay.
for analysis. Because to be honest, I could probably spend an hour and a half explaining how the analysis would actually go. In a nutshell, you would figure out what the average is, and then you would have to compute the standard deviation, and then you would have to compute z-scores for each of those positions, and that's a little bit more time than we have. I would actually like to cover a little bit of Visual Studio tonight. So with that said, why don't we take a break, and this will be the end of this section of the recording. So if you need to refer back to what I'm looking for in the paper, or if I come back next week and say, where's your analysis section? You can say, well, it's recorded on tape. Well, it's not really tape, but you get the idea. That you said it was okay to put this as a draft here, and then I'll have to go, okay, you get an A. So again, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a good summary of your articles, and you don't have to use these articles. You can use whatever articles you want, but those are 3 pretty good ones. And discussion, and then I'm really interested in seeing what you guys come up with as a discussion or as a description of our method, because what I expect the courtroom problem to show up, right? I'm going to get it explained about 20 different ways. Right? They won't be identical unless you collaborate. So that might actually be fun to read. Questions before we shut this down? Great. Why don't we take a 5-minute break? It is due next week, if I recall correctly. It is due February 5th, 2015 at 6 p.m. And it is worth 5,000 points. Hey, it's 5% of your grade, right? That's pretty good. Yeah.
So, like, does it work more with the more zeros you put in? Like, if you say it's 5 million, did they just freak out? Or
Well, if I put 5 billion points in there, then you have to be worth, 100 billion points. That's not bad. I like what you're thinking.
Totally still that.
This is worth 1 times 10 to the 19th. Or I'll just put E19 up there. That would be great. I may do that next year.
10.12 e to the 10.
Okay, we'll